These little resets, they are very simple. They don't take long at all, yet they can have the most incredible, powerful benefit. Hi, I'm Jo Clark, and thanks so much for joining me today. This is the Redefining Midlife podcast, a podcast designed for the 40-plus woman who is determined to challenge society's myths and beliefs around midlife. It's for the woman who is inspired and ready to define midlife her way. Join me each week as I chat to health and wellness experts for up-to-date information on how to live well as some special conversations with incredible everyday women redefining what midlife can look like. Here's to making our next half of life even better than the first. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Redefining Midlife podcast. Now, I was hoping to bring to you the final episode in the series on neurodiversity in midlife, an interview that I had scheduled with the lovely Dr. Sasha Kawalenko, but that's going to be happening and we've had to reschedule, and that'll be happening, and I'll bring that to you in a couple of weeks' time. I've had some great feedback on the last two episodes that we've done on ADHD and midlife. There are a number of women who have reached out to me and emailed me or messaged me to say that they have either A, been diagnosed late in life, or B, that they believe that they have ADHD and that the information that was shared in the episodes was super helpful. So for those women, I wish you all the best in your diagnoses and identification. Let's hope that the information that was shared in the episode from the wonderful guest speakers that we had, Kirsten Bowes, psychologist, and also the lovely Natalie Yan Chachansky, who gave her own perspective of being a woman in midlife who had only recently been diagnosed with ADHD. Let's hope that the information that they shared is really going to help you in your journey. And as always, if something in there or you know of somebody who may benefit from listening to that episode, please share. The more people that we can help, the better the world will be. Now, the episode, if you are a follower of mine on Instagram, you will have seen some delightful photos that I shared on my stories of me in the emergency room and then me on the follow-up the day after I went to emergency. I had a little accident a couple of days ago. One of those things that can happen in a split second, and it can change how your days and weeks following can be. It's amazing how something so quick that can happen that can have sort of an outcome that you weren't expecting. I was busy chatting, and just a quick story on what had happened. I was busy chatting to a neighbour at their place, talking behind my shoulder, not watching where I was going. I missed a step and I face planted onto the concrete below. Thankfully, I didn't split my head open, which could have happened very easily, and extremely thankful that I didn't fracture my eye socket or the top of my cheekbone, because how I managed to avoid that, I do not know. But what I have been left with is some incredible swelling, some of the most amazing bruises and colourful bruises that I have seen, and just general discomfort and a little bit of concussion. So at the moment, the bruising, and it's going to stay with me for a few weeks. The bruising goes from the top of my forehead all the way down to the bottom of my cheekbone. It's spreading, it's getting darker, and over the next few weeks, it's going to be all sorts of incredible shades of the rainbow. Now, this is all coinciding with a really busy social season, and the busy season that happens at this time of year. So how I cope with that is entirely up to me. And that's exactly what I practice, what I preach. The women that I work with, we talk about that quite a lot, that often we can't change what happens around us, but how we react to it is something that we've got complete control of. That wonderful, one of my favorite quotes is you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. So what sort of things do I do and will I be putting into place to help me through the next few weeks? When I'm not feeling my best, I'm definitely not going to be looking at my best. And I'm going to be out in social situations where my face is unavoidable to look at. And one half of it is going to be swollen, is going to be all sorts of different colors. And how I project myself forward in and amongst, where I am in shopping centres or at parties, meeting people I don't know, how I'm going to cope with all of that is up to me. So I've got to decide what I'm going to say yes to, what I'm going to say no to, and what my energy is going to be like, and how I look after the energy and how I look after my body to help with the healing process. So, for all of us, this is my little story, but for you, it might be something different. You might have a lot on your plate as far as work goes, or family commitments, or perhaps you've got, trying to find or getting all the shopping done. We've got inundated at the moment with lots of emails, lots of ads, all about, buy, 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 buy. You might be thinking about in the future of what your Christmas is going to look like. Perhaps you're not enjoying or the thought of what might be happening with the festive season. Maybe you're overcommitted with lots of things that you've said yes to that you wish you said no to, and you're regretting that now. Everyone's going to have their own story with this time of year. What I did for the ladies in my Better Than Before membership, it was actually putting together a booklet of mindful moments, little things that they can draw upon, tiny little activities. May take only half a minute to a minute, maybe 2 minutes maximum, but it brings them back and grounds them to have less stress. Little moments for yourself. These little resets, they are very simple. They don't take long at all, yet they can have the most incredible, powerful benefits. Again, it's up to us whether we put some of these practices into place or not. All I know is research says it helps. If we can do something that's going to help ourselves, why wouldn't we do it? So rather than just keeping it with the ladies who are my Better Than Before membership, all of these little ideas, I thought it'd be something great to be able to share with the listeners as well. So for you, whether you choose to do one, some, all of these, or none of these, that's completely up to you, but just know that they will have the incredible benefits. So for me, I do a couple of these, not all of them, but I'm going to be implementing more of these during this busy time when I'm not feeling the greatest, when I certainly don't look the best, and just to help me get through the harder times over the next few weeks. So bear with me as I share some of these. I'm going to read out the workbook and where I had all of that information of these very simple techniques. So I'm going to read those out to you right now so you've got access to them as well. The first one is the 4-7-8 technique. Now, it is a very simple breathing technique. It's a cycle of what you do is you inhale for 4, you hold your breath for 7, the count of 7, and then you exhale slowly with just a quiet whooshing sound through your mouth for the count of 8. And then you just repeat that cycle. These sorts of techniques are really, really helpful if you're feeling super anxious or stressed. It will bring your parasympathetic system down to a state of less stress, less anxiety. It puts you in a deeper state of relaxation. And if it's something that you can do while you're standing at the checkout, you can do it when you're sitting in the car, you can do it when you're sitting in a meeting or during a tense time that you might be having a conversation with somebody. These sorts of things are a really quick reset. So as I said again, this one here is where you inhale for 4, you hold the breath for 7, and then a slow exhale for 8 out of your mouth with a slight whooshing sound. If you have that cycle for at least 4 times, that will help you reset. Very simple little technique. The next technique is a grounding exercise. And again, you can do this. It could take up to 30 seconds to a minute. It doesn't take long. So in moments of high stress, you can use your senses just to help bring yourself down and to become more grounded. In this one, if you think of 5 fingers, your 5 fingers on one hand, the first finger is looking all about the things that you can see. So I want you to find, wherever you are, 5 things that you can see. 4 things, the next thing is 4 things that you can touch. The next thing is 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and the final thing to look at is 1 thing that you can taste. So I'll go through that again. 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Now, that grounding, that taking away the attention from whatever stressful things happening in your mind or unfolding before you, brings you back into the present moment, and it pulls you away from some of those spiraling thoughts and those spiraling feelings. So that's a really simple one to do. It can take you can be as fast as 30 seconds to a minute doing that. And you can repeat that over and over again at different times of the day. That's an easy one that you can do wherever you are. So no excuses with that one that you have to be in a certain place. You could actually do that while you were driving, and think about the 5 things. The next one is just a minute of mindful listening. Just wherever you are, listen to the sounds around you without any judgment at all. It could be the hum of your office. It could be the sounds of the nature outside, but just focus on that whole auditory experience that's happening around you. What we know from research is that mindful listening heightens your awareness to the present moment, and it can shift your attention away from some of those really stress-inducing moments. So think about that. 30 seconds to a minute. Well, I did say a minute at the start, but 30 seconds to a minute, doesn't matter how long, but as long as you can start to bring yourself out of the moment of feeling stressful and into the present moment just by listening to what's around you. That's a super simple one that you can do anywhere as well. The next one takes maybe a few more minutes, and it's gratitude journaling. That is an incredibly powerful process that you can do. Just the process of writing something that you are grateful for can have a huge benefit to you. So it could be at the start of the day, the end of the day, you work out when it works for you, but just jot down 3 things that you're grateful for. If you want to add that and to make it even a bigger practice, you could write down why you're particularly grateful for a certain thing. But it can be as simple what you're grateful for as a conversation that you've had with somebody, or a moment of peace that you've had throughout the day. It doesn't have to be big, grandiose things. Small things in life are often the things that we can be most grateful for. We know that practicing gratitude reduces stress, and it shifts your mindset from what's wrong to what's going well. It also shows the research that gratitude practices are associated with increased emotional well-being and resilience. And they're 3 really important things, or 2 very important things that we should be looking at. Mindful walking. This could be a bit longer. This is a little practice that you might want to take a little walk outside for between 5 and 10 minutes to have that reset. Again, focus on what's happening as you are walking. So focus on how your feet hit the ground, the movement of your body, what's happening around you in the environment as you're walking. If you place your attention to those things rather than to the thoughts that are racing around in your head, that will make a huge difference. We know from research again that walking mindfully actually increases the connection to your body and to your surroundings. It reduces stress, and it can help to promote feelings and a sense of calm. Even a 10-minute walk has been shown to reduce anxiety and improve your mood. So put on your walking shoes. Even if you don't have your walking shoes, just get outside and walk for 5 to 10 minutes. Another thing that you could do is what we call a progressive muscle relaxation, which takes around about 5 minutes. You can do this sitting down, or you could do it lying down. And all you need to do is tense each muscle group in your body for 5 to 10 seconds and then relax it. Start with your feet, and then you just work all the way up to your neck and your head. What this does and why it works is that it actually lowers stress by releasing some of the tension that's held in your body. And research shows that it can reduce symptoms of anxiety, and it can improve overall relaxation. Now, there's some very simple little activities that you can do for yourself during this busy time of the year. Let's find those moments of calm in our day. Let's, by doing that, feel better, and then we can be better. So wrapping up for today, thank you so much for listening. I look forward to bringing some more shows and episodes of the Redefining Midlife podcast into your ears soon. I hope you find those moments of calm. I hope that you put into place some of these practices, and I'll be with you again next week. Bye for now. Thanks so much for listening and sharing your time with me today. I'd love you to hit subscribe on Apple Podcast or your favorite podcast app to keep spreading these empowering messages. Please share this podcast with other incredible midlife women in your world. Join me again next week for another redefining midlife conversation. Thanks again for tuning in.